Live from the virtual heart of America, welcome to Kansas Speedway. Race number 14 in the Tuesday Night Thunder Truck Series and the championship playoffs beginning in just 3 weeks. The intensity is dialed all the way up, the field is stacked, and every driver knows that one wrong move could be the difference between making the cut and missing the playoffs. I am Tom Richter up here in this booth for the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network, out here tonight for 134 laps around Kansas Speedway. For tonight's race, the Juergens Lawn Care 200 at Kansas Speedway. How's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? Glad to be back up here in the booth. Typically, about this time on a Tuesday night, we would see Joe White taking the calls, taking the controls. But Joe, unable to join us out here tonight, so we are stepping in and we are going to cover tonight's race from Kansas. As we get set to go to qualifying here, just a little bit over 3 minutes left in practice. Cody Heinzman currently at the top of the board, Cody Gibson and Dustin Ping, that's currently your top three. If you guys are rooting for somebody out there tonight, let me know who you're rooting for. Let's see some names out in the chat. Maybe Joe likes to pick on guys, say who maybe you're not rooting for. Throw a little bit of fun into it. So 2.5 minutes remaining out in practice. Race information for tonight, 134 laps. Going to be compiled of 3 different stages. Stage 1, the end of lap number 35, and stage number 2, the end of lap number 70. And then a final 60 lap run to lap number 134. As we take a look around this speedway here, we've got our drone cam flying through the infield right now. Over the infield care center, we'll take some looks at some of the drivers currently sitting on pit road. Cody Gibson, see if we can't find somebody out on track. Cody Heinzman right now. Currently the race leader, runs 68, working on lap number 69 of his 1-hour practice session out here. Second only to Cody Gibson. Cody Gibson with 71 laps of practice. A lot of drivers with some high practice laps counts out here tonight. Amanda Sherman with 63, Casey Tomlinson with 68. Dave Gainforth with 51. So some drivers certainly taking this serious as we go into qualifying here. But hey, we're going to step aside for just about a minute or two. Let us know how we're sounding, if we need to make any sort of adjustments, anything like that. Kind of threw this all together on a whim, but we're going to go ahead and play the Star Spangled Banner over the loudspeakers here from Kansas Motor Speedway, and we will be back for qualifying. Alright, back just in time as Barney waves the checkered flag over practice. The 1-hour practice session coming to a hold here as we wait to see cars make their way out for 2 laps, 5 minutes of qualifying. See who's able to get the best laps out here tonight. First hit the track is Amanda Sherman. We'll take a ride around with Amanda as she begins her out lap. Other cars out on track right now: Corey Sherman, Chris Letts, Leroy Koblenz, Mike Stiverson, Chris Wold, Ed Jurgen, bunch of other drivers hitting the track. We'll jump around here in the next minute or two, and we'll see if we can't follow a couple of these drivers as they try to set the hot lap out here. Got Cody Heinzman checking out in chat, says he's an Amanda Sherman fan. All right, I can get with that. Amanda Sherman was 17th in practice, so she's going to need a little bit of pick-me-up from the practice session. We'll see what she's able to do. She's working through turns 1 and 2 right now, halfway down the backstretch for the 88. Busy track right now. We'll jump around. Mackenzie Milwain currently out on track. He is about to begin his first time lap here. In another half lap in that number 21 machine for Mackenzie. Right up against the wall. That's going to be the story of the night as we see these guys all the way up against the wall as we see times start to come across. Ed Jurgen, Mike Stiverson, Chris Wold, Gary Bowman now up in the mix, and Corey Sherman now up into the top 3, into the top 5. About halfway through qualifying, Mackenzie having a good run so far. First time by, going to be about 4.5 tenths off. Ed Jurgen, provisional pole sitter right now, waiting on some more times from the 92 across the line. What does Ed pick up to? Does not pick up. So lap number 1 going to be the hot lap for the 92 of Ed Jurgen. Other drivers just beginning their laps. Dustin Ping in the number 81. Ping Precision Mobile. Halfway down the backstretch to see what Dustin's able to do. Dustin was fast in practice. I think he was somewhere up in the top 5, I want to say. Dustin, one of those drivers looking for his first career win here at the Cyber Thunder Racing League. Maybe tonight is the night. Lap number 1 done and away for Dustin Ping. Where is he going to wind up? 4th for Dustin Ping. We'll keep an eye on Dustin here. Less than a tenth of a second off of current pole sitter Ed Jurgen. Out of turn number 4 for Dustin Ping. At the line, the 81. Again, first lap is going to be the hot lap for Dustin Ping. Tanner Marr has also posted a time. Philip Van Vliet. Andrew Caldwell in the 46. Brian Dorsey. Eric Anderson. So a whole bunch of drivers finishing up their laps out here. Trying to see if there's anybody. Looks like Joe Hudson has about 90 seconds here. Joe waiting on a little bit of a cloud cover. See what Joe's able to do. Joe's waiting. And he might be... No, Cody Heinzman also out on track right now, but we'll try to keep an eye on Joe Hudson and Cody Heinzman simultaneously. Through here, Joe going to begin his first time lap. See him enter really high into turn number 1. Drops down low onto that white line, slides about halfway up, and now he's going to carry that momentum down the backstretch here. See what he's able to do in turns 3 and 4. Kind of a similar line for Joe through 3 and 4 as he comes across. And he's going to shut that engine down. Joe Hudson going to be 3rd on the board. Cody Heinzman just finishing up his laps as well. 2nd on the board, but it looks like Ed Jurgen going to be provisionally the pole sitter out here with 15 seconds remaining. All right. We're bringing back an old cyber tradition here. We got we got the bells. We got the bells. We're going to turn the bells on. Somebody remind me that the bells are on. We have a habit of leaving them on. But your starting lineup out here tonight from Kansas Speedway. Ed Yergin, Cody Heinzman, that's going to make up your front row. Joe Hudson, Mackenzie Milwain, going to be making up row number 2 here. On as the field makes their way down here onto pit road. Joe Hudson, Mackenzie Milwain, row 2. Cody Gibson and Dustin Ping, that's going to be row number 3. Tanner Marr, Philip Van Vliet, Gary Bowman, and Larry Bell, that's going to be your top 10. On the back half of the top 10, Mike Stiverson and Andrew Caldwell, they make up row number 6. Brian Dorsey is going to start alongside Eric Anderson. Rick Thompson starts on the inside of Brad Holmes in 16th position. Matthew Semple and Stephen Music, 17th and 18th. Chris Rose and Amanda Sherman, 19th and 20th. And to round out the field of 32 cars out here tonight, Chris Wold, John Mulwayne, they're going to be rolling off 21st and 22nd place. Corey Sherman, last season's winner here at Kansas Speedway. He's got some ground to gather if he wants to repeat and go back to victory lane. Lee Campbell and Greg Mitchell, 24th and 25th on the board. Andy Cork and Chris Lett's going to be 26th and 27th on the board. Leroy Koblenz, Fred Thompson, David Gainforth, Logan Spencer, and Casey Tomlinson round out the field of 32 cars making their way off pit road. Field gets ready to go racing out here tonight for 134 laps. And everybody's thinking championship playoffs, everybody's thinking stage points, everybody's thinking maybe fighting their way into a championship spot out here tonight. The field's going to come out of turn number 4. We're going to head on up to Barney the Flagman. He's got the green flag already up in the air. He's waiting on pole sitter Ed Yergin to lead him to the green. There we go. Remember the bells. Thank you there, Briggs. We always forget to turn those off, but lap 1 done and away. Cody Heinzman jumps out to about a 2-truck lead over Cody Gibson as they're side by side now coming through 1 and 2. Gibson with a good run down the backstretch. Dustin Ping not far up in their mirror. Joe Hudson, Ed Yergin. Ed falling 4 spots on lap number 1. Cody Gibson trying to get a lap led here early in tonight's event, but here comes Dustin Ping taking a look down on 3 wide, not going to be able to make it happen just yet. But they're still nose to tail, headed down into 1 now. Dustin Ping makes his way up into 2nd place, but hold on, here comes Cody Gibson. We're going to probably see, they thought better of it. Thought we might have seen a quick little 3 wide scenario happen on the backstretch there, but was not the case. See a whole bunch of lanes starting to form. At the line. Let's begin lap number 4. Cody Heinzman still holding on to the slimmest of margins over Dustin Ping. Cody Heinzman, Ed Yergin not too far behind him. Take a look here from Cody Gibson, see what Cody sees as he enters turns 3 and 4, chasing down Dustin Ping and Cody Heinzman trying to make that chase. Remember, they're racing until lap number 35. And the fun part about this is that I spoke to about 3 or 4 different drivers about what their fuel strategy was out here tonight. How many laps could you get on fuel? I heard everything from 33 to 35 laps, 35 to 37 laps, 31 to 33 laps. So depending on who you ask, you kind of got a different answer as to what their fuel is. So possibly stage number 1 being 35 laps, maybe some fuel saving might be in the cards for stage number 1, but no fuel saving up front so far. Cody Heinzman has stepped out to a little bit of a lead, but we're taking a look at the closest battle out here in the top 10. Tanner Marr underneath the 21, Mackenzie Milwain trying to make that pass on the bottom line here. Really need some help behind you if you're going to make that pass, because you just see the run that Mackenzie gets coming out of 2. And then Gary Bowman, he's going to take that momentum from the top side and try to point his way into the right rear of Tanner Marr. Not going to happen just yet, though. Back up here at the front, still got a great battle going on between the 81 and the 28, and the 1 not too far behind. Ed Jurgen, he's found his way around Joe Hudson to find his way back up to 4th. Cody's with a defensive line down on the apron. Maybe that will give Dustin an opportunity to get to his outside, and it does. See what he's able to do. Now you're going to see the momentum from the 81 carry all the way through turns 1 and 2, and Dustin Ping going to be able to clear for the race lead on lap number 8. Couple of close other battles here up towards the front. We're going to jump back here real quick. Actually, we'll give that just a second. Cody Heinzman, again, I wonder if we're seeing a little bit of fuel strategy out of the 28 here, as he's going to lose now 2nd place to Cody Gibson, and Ed Jurgen not too far in the wins. Maybe a little bit of fuel saving here from the 28. Let's take a listen and see if we can't find out what Cody's doing. Yeah, he's under fire from Ed now, so... There you go. You see the RPM shut off. That is as clear of an indicator of fuel saving as you can possibly get, as he's going to now lose 3rd place. So we know Heinzman's already thinking about some fuel strategy. I was going to jump back to about 12th, 13th, 14th place back here. Got a great battle going on. Just outside the back half of the top 10, Mike Stiverson leads Eric Anderson over Andrew Caldwell right now. These guys looking for stage points. We'll see if these guys may be doing the same thing. On board with Eric Anderson, don't see him fuel saving. So we'll see how that plays out here in about 20-25 laps once we do get our stage yellow. Hey, if you're watching out in YouTube chat, let us know how you're feeling. We kind of set this up on a whim. Anything too loud, anything too quiet, anything we need to adjust, let us know. We'll make the adjustments on the fly and try to get it right before the checkered flag. That's preferable. But wow, what battles we got going on out here. Gary Bowman in the middle, 3 wide. Tanner Marr, Joe Hudson. Contact out of turn number 2. Gary Bowman involved. One of your championship contenders, Rick Thompson, also involved. Looks like we're probably going to stay green out here so far. But off track for Gary Bowman. Take a closer look, see his right front as he comes around here. I think that's going to be some pretty significant damage. Yeah, that's going to be significant damage for Gary. Not going to come to pit road this time. Looks like he's going to try to limp it around. Maybe he thought we were going to get a caution there. Take a closer look. Take a closer look at what happened and see. Alright, well, I told you you had to be nice to the commentator because we didn't really... I'm sure the replay's out there somewhere. Where it is, I'll click around and see if we can't find it. while we're continuing to watch the race out here, but looks like the replay has been lost to the abyss. But close battles out there. Other drivers involved. Joe Hudson. Let's take a closer look at Joe. See what kind of damage maybe Joe has on the 49. Left side looks okay on the 49. Can't really see the right side right now. Let's see if we can't get a better look maybe as he comes to the 3 and 4 here. About the same. Still holding on to 7th place right now. So early problems for Gary Bowman. That is not what he wanted to see to start race number 14 of his championship hopes. Meanwhile, while all this is happening, battles up front for the lead. Dustin Ping says, hey, let me get a lap led up here. Dustin Ping trying to get a lap led from Cody Gibson. Cody Gibson in the number 1 machine, Dustin Ping on the 81. Both trying to push their way through here. Looks like Dustin didn't have the run coming out of the corner. They've gapped Ed Jurgen by about 1.3 seconds. About halfway through the stage right here, and you can see the moves that Dustin Ping tries to make. Kansas is one of those tracks that you always want to kind of put your nose on their right rear, and if you can, that's really going to help you. But Dustin Ping with a great run, maybe a little bit of gentleman's agreement right there. Cody Gibson, Dustin Ping, teammates on track, perhaps saying, hey, go ahead, go get a lap here. Dustin trying to get his first win, but we'll see what Cody Gibson does. Maybe he throws my theory out the window here if he races them in a second. But can't wait too long because you got Cody Heinzman, Ed Jurgen, and Mackenzie Milwain. Top 5 all up underneath the blanket here as they come across the line to begin lap number 19. And here comes Heinzman. I looked away for 1 second, and Heinzman back to the lead. Heinzman gets up past the 81, past the 1 in one corner. And Heinzman back up to the lead of this race, controlling the race. Maybe saved just enough fuel from what he thought he needed to save. And we'll see if Cody continues to try to save fuel. Take another look. Last time we looked, he was clutching on the entry to turns 1 and 2. He's still doing it. So that's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. I got to think if Cody's doing that and passing them, that Dustin here on board with Dustin Ping is probably doing the same thing. But yeah, they're all saving. They're looking for that lap number 35. They're looking for that lap number 35 stage. Some comers and goers. Up 15 spots from his qualifying run. We'll jump around it back here. Biggest mover so far in tonight's race, Greg Mitchell in the number 55. Started 25th on the grid, all the way up to the back half of the top 10 right now, running 10th. Trying to chase down Andrew Caldwell. Brad Holmes has a moment in front of him. But Greg Mitchell, biggest mover, up 15, make it 16 spots now, maybe 17, depending on what happens here on the exit of 4. Now this back half of the top 10 right here, these guys are racing for stage points. We're going to award 10 stage points to the stage winner, 9 to second place, 8 to third, so on and so forth, all the way down to 10th where they get 1. And those do matter. You may miss the playoffs, or you may make the playoffs based on those stage points. Andrew Caldwell goes around Brad Holmes there, but now Greg Mitchell's got his sights set on Brad Holmes. Again, Brad loose on the exit of 3 and 4. Greg trying to take advantage and make his way in. Another driver needing some stage points out here tonight. Mike Stiverson currently in 11th. Mike had some issues last week at Darlington. Currently sitting on the outside looking in of the playoffs. is in contention for the wild card, driver with the most stage points at the end of the regular season. So looking to possibly add to his total out here tonight at the end of 134 laps. But he's got a couple of spots he needs to get if he wants to do that. Andrew Caldwell continues his march forward here. Been watching Andrew for the past couple of laps. He's going from 10th now to 7th here with just over 10 laps to go in the stage. Andrew Caldwell marching forward. Last time by, Andrew, 33.34. He's running about third place times right now is the 46 of Andrew Caldwell. Trying to chase down Ed Jurgen. He's got about 10 laps to do it. See what he's able to do. Now battle for 10th place for the stage. Mike Stiverson, Matt Semple, Brad Holmes, all in one picture here. So we're going to take a close look. Oh, Mike's got to get out of the gas a little bit. Brad's going to be in the wall a little bit. That's going to open up the door for Matt Semple to come through. What does Matt do? Matt's going to take a look down onto the inside of the number 20. Not going to be able to stick it far enough down in there. And now Matt's going to slide up in front of the 0-0. Brad goes back to 12th. And now under fire from Lee Campbell and the number 60 machine as well. Great battles all over the track. Greg Mitchell, he's made his way up into the top 10. After starting 25th on the board out here tonight, he's made his way currently up into 7th place. Trying to chase down Andrew Caldwell. Andrew Caldwell did get around Ed Jurgen, as Ed Jurgen falls down to 8th place. Tanner Marr, Mike Stiverson, the back half of the top 10 right now. Up towards the lead, Cody Heinzman, Dustin Ping. Let's take another look and see, because I'm not sure. Because they were close before. They were looking 33, 35 laps. Our stage is 35 laps. Let's see if... No, Cody doesn't think he's saved enough yet. See those RPMs drop as they entered the turn 3. Take a look at Dustin. Does Dustin think he's saved enough yet? Dustin's going to stay in the gas. So Dustin must think he's all right on fuel as he's going to... Oh, big hit with the outside wall. That's not going to be good as now Joe Hudson, that opens up the door for the 49 to get back up there and point his way into 2nd place. Joe Hudson trying to make his way, and he does, into 2nd place with a handful of laps remaining in the stage. Now he's got his sights set on the stage win. Coming in just a couple of laps. Last time by, Joe Hudson was about 0.2 faster than the 28, so we'll keep an eye on this battle up here. See if they're able to do it, but battles all over this track. Some notables we were talking about before. Brad Holmes, he's down to 13th place. Greg Mitchell, he's still holding up in 6th. Andrew Caldwell still holding up inside the top 5. Ed Jurgen currently up in 8th place. Mike Stiverson in 12th. Gary Bowman, quick update on Gary Bowman earlier in this stage. Gary Bowman looks like he is several laps down and probably done for the evening for that 8 machine. So unfortunately, a rough ending for Gary out here tonight. Take a look at the lap times here between Cody Heinzman and Dustin and Joe Hudson. Last time, he's been about a 10th, maybe a 10th and a half faster than Cody the past couple of times by. So we'll see if he's able to catch up onto him. That time Cody was a 100th of a second faster. About a half second separates first from second right now, as we take a closer look back into about the 10th place spot right now. Lee Campbell, Matt Semple battling for that 10th place spot to gain some stage points here at the end of the next lap or two. Lee Campbell taking a look down onto the inside of Matt Semple, not going to have enough to get there that time. Into turns 3 and 4. This is all a battle for some crucial stage points, as pit road is closed with 2 laps to go in the stage. Cody Heinzman has opened up his race lead by about 2/10, now sitting at about 6.5 seconds over Joe Hudson. Dustin Ping currently running third with a 2.3 second difference to third place. All right, white flag on the stage. Cody Heinzman, all eyes up front for the 28 machine. See if he's able to hold on. And the stage ends at the end when 10th place, so currently Ed Jurgen, takes the start-finish line. So Cody still needs to continue racing. Joe still has the opportunity to try to make a pass or gain some stage points. See if that happens. Not going to happen here, as drivers come across to complete stage number 1. So waiting on the yellow flag to come through, waiting on 10th place. There's Ed Jurgen, and the yellow flag is displayed, and we get our first caution of the evening. Oh, something happened to Brad Holmes. I think we figured out the replays here. Something happened to Brad Holmes. Let's take a look, see if we can't back this up and see maybe what happened. It says he crashed. Oh, you know what? It might be reading a crash for being out of fuel. That might be what's happening here. Looks like he's going to be okay. Well, while we're at it, I was trying to see if we could see the incident between Gary Bowman before and Joe Hudson and those drivers back there, but didn't see the event. But drivers making their way onto pit road. Bunch of drivers possibly out of fuel. Drivers make their way off pit road. Ed Jurgen going to come off first. See if we can't grab a quick word with Greg Mitchell. Greg, Tom up here, you got a copy?
I got you, Tom.
Hey, Greg. Well, you started 25th on the grid out here tonight. We were talking about, just let me know when you get to the one. We were talking a little bit about fuel. You're up 22 spots from your starting spot out here tonight. How was stage 1? What are you going to do in stage 2?
Stage 1 was good. It was just all about fuel management and trying to get to the end there. I had a little bit less than half a lap of fuel left. So some people lasted a little longer than I thought they would, but they ran out of fuel on the cooldown lap. But this stage is going to be fairly similar. We got a couple extra caution laps here, so can probably go a little bit harder. So we'll see what we got for Cody.
All right. Well, good luck in stage number 2. I'll kick you back down there. I'll figure out where you went.
11.
All right. He's back in his team channel, or I hope he is. Maybe I put him in the wrong one. Who knows? Getting ready for the restart of the night. First caution of the evening. 35 laps done and out of the way for stage number 1. Stage number 2 ends at lap number 70. So we will... you heard some fuel concerns out of the 55 camp. See if he has the same concerns in stage number 2. Pace car down and away. Barney's got the iRacing green flag up high in the air, waiting on the restart zone to come through, and Cody Heinzman takes the lead on the restart here. Greg Mitchell currently second as they head down here into turn number 1. See some side-by-side battles halfway down here, down the backstretch here. Tanner Marr taking a look, trying to make his move on the outside of Joe Hudson, trying to take third place away. Let's see if he's able to do that as we complete lap number 40, working on lap number 41. Cody Heinzman still in the lead. Tanner is able to take that lead away, but we got some big battles happening back here in about the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th place back here. Larry Bell, 05, first time we said his name all night. Larry up 4 spots on the evening so far, racing around Amanda Sherman on the inside on that number 88 machine. Philip Van Fleet pushing his teammate down the backstretch, seeing where all these guys can go. You get into a 200-mile-an-hour roadblock here, and not really some smoke down there. Can't really do a whole lot once you get into a situation like this. On board with Philip Van Fleet. The car in front of this pack, Joe Hudson in the 49 machine. That's the one leading this charge. Joe currently up in 4th place, and you look, oh my goodness, you look 3 wide, 2 wide, 3 wide, all the way behind Joe. Let's see if we can't get a cool little shot looking here. This is what Joe's seeing in his mirror right now. Not a fun sight if I'm Joe Hudson right now. Amanda Sherman trying to protect the bottom off Mackenzie Milwain on the inside line. Casey Tomlinson having a moment up there. Casey a lap down. Joe Hudson currently got a mirror full of trucks in his rearview mirror, as Amanda Sherman having a great run now up inside the top 5. Trying to chase down the 49 of Joe Hudson as Cody Heinzman, Greg Mitchell, they've stepped away. Tanner Marr, they've stepped away by about 2 seconds over this. Amanda Sherman with a big run on the exit of 1 and 2. She gets her nose to the outside of the 49, and the 88 makes the pad. More battles back here. Wonder if it looks like he took 4 tires. I don't see any real time discrepancy in the pits. I was thinking maybe with the way this looks, if Joe might have gambled on 2 tires or something, but I mean, you can just see the closing distance right now on everybody. Where is Mackenzie on my list here? I must be going crazy. It appears Mackenzie might be a lap or more down. thought he was running directly behind Joe, but I suppose not unless time was throwing us off here. We'll let that reset here for a moment. Sideways for the 49. Bring this back up and see if that fixes it. No, maybe not. Okay, yeah. I mean, you just take a look at these battles. Cody Gibson now in the middle. Brian Dorsey also involved. Andrew Caldwell involved. Larry Bell involved. Dustin Ping says, "Get me out of here. I don't know what I went from running up front in the lead to this. Get me out of this mess." Chris Wald up there. Matt Semple. Matt's having a good run out here tonight. Started 17th on the board, up 6 spots. Looks like we might have lost ourselves there for a moment. Should be back now. But we're looking at this mess on the exit of turns 2. Chris Rose up there. Larry Bell, Cody Gibson. All these drivers working lap number 49. And great battles. While all this is happening, Cody Heinzman and Greg Mitchell, Tanner Marr, they've opened up about a 2-second gap on 4th place. Amanda Sherman now having a great run out here tonight. Amanda, fun little fact about her, Amanda only has 1 win in Cyber Thunder Racing League. And that came a couple of seasons ago at Talladega. So Amanda looking to get another strong run up here and try to fight her way into the playoffs. But Amanda's happy to be seeing this in her rear view. She doesn't see any sort of mess happening behind her. She's got maybe about 1.2, 1.3 seconds on what all's happening behind her. And this is where it's at right now. Logan Spencer a couple of laps down, trying to get up and out of the way. Riding on the outside lane. Chris Rose up there. I think these guys may have been affected by fuel strategy at the end. We heard Greg at the end of stage 1 talking about some drivers running out of fuel. I think that may be what has happened to Mackenzie Milwain, maybe Logan Spencer, maybe Chris Rose. They were running strong before that pit cycle there. Battles all over the track, trying to keep up with everything that we possibly can, but battles up towards the back half of the top 10 right now. Larry Bell following Matthew Semple, following Ed Jurgen, following Andrew Caldwell, following Brian Dorsey. One after another, you got a train of cars, 2 by 2, like a pace lap. Eric Anderson with big moves back here. Looks like Eric also got caught by the fuel bug. Eric's a lap down. So these guys are not only racing for to try to get around Joe, they're also trying to race to become the first car 1 lap down. Currently looks like Chris might be the first car 1 lap down. We'll wait for that to cycle around and get a better look at it. Mackenzie Milwain actually first car 1 lap down, so all these drivers have a rush to try to get around the drivers in front of them, because Mackenzie, who we see slapping the wall up there, trying to hold on to that lucky dog spot. because everybody knows we're getting a caution in at least 14 laps, maybe sooner. While we were watching the battles back there, Amanda Sherman got passed by Lee Campbell. Lee Campbell now up to 4th. And now is starting to fall into the clutches of Joe Hudson, Matt Semple, Cody Gibson, Larry Bell, Philip Van Vliet as she works the top side of the speedway here. You just see everybody starting to reel her back in. Last time by for Amanda, 33.4 compared to 32.8, 32.9, 33.0. So we're looking at about 0.4 of a second difference between Amanda and the cars behind her. But she's holding her own right now. She knows she's only got about 12 laps to go in the stage before she's able to come back onto pit road and get 4 fresh sets of Goodyears and try to hold that track position. Or as we see some cars beginning to make their way down onto pit road, Andy Cork making his way onto pit road. Looks like a scheduled green flag stop up here. David Gainforth has also made his way onto pit road as well. Who else has made their way onto pit road? Andy Cork on and off pit road. No penalties there. So some split strategy for stage number 2 here as Amanda's now under fire from Joe Hudson. Joe on the inside line. See what he's able to do on the exit of 1 and 2. He's able to clear the 88. Possibly some fuel saving on the 88. Let's take a look. See any fuel saving from Amanda, so maybe Joe was just saving fuel in the early stages of that run, and maybe that was possible. Matt Semple's showing his nose up now in 7th place, trying to take 6th place away from Amanda as he sneaks underneath the 21 of Mackenzie Milwain. Trying to come through and make that pass, not for position, but a pass on track for the 16 on the 21. You see the difference in fresh tires. Casey Tomlinson coming out of pit road just a couple of laps ago. Cody Gibson back there. These drivers on at least the 52 is on fresh tires, and Amanda's going to be put 3 wide here on the middle of 3 and 4. And Matt gave her a pretty good break there, not to put her 3 wide and stay in line on the exit of 2 here with just a few laps remaining in stage number 2. So far, a pretty clean race out here tonight. A lot of close racing, a lot of different lines that are being utilized. You see cars on the top side, you see cars on the bottom line, and you even see the brave ones in the middle line as well. So. Keeping an eye on one of the best battles on track right now. For 6th place, Cody Gibson trying to get up there and take away 7th. Matt Semple trying to get up there and take away 6th place from Amanda Sherman. Matt's got a run on the outside here. That may be a position lost here for Amanda in another corner here. Matt's probably going to get a pretty good run on the exit of 3 and 4. And yes, he is. Matt Semple slides in front of the 88, put Matt Semple up now 11 spots from his qualifying position. Putting himself up in a good spot to end stage number 2 here in just a few laps. More battles back out here on track. Dustin Ping. Dustin ran strong all of stage 1, but he got caught back here following last season's winner, Corey Sherman, at Kansas Speedway, currently running in 13th, down 7 spots from his qualifying effort. See some friends out in the YouTube chat box. Carter Steverson got caught on fuel ran out at the end of stage 1 and went a lap down, currently in 24th place. Not in position for a lucky dog or a free pass here in a few laps. But that's what happened to Mike Stiverson. Unfortunately, good run going bad. A lot of these guys maybe not accounting for that extra lap of fuel that you need to make it around after the stage closes. To tell you what, the gap for the lead, as we got just a couple of laps to go here in stage number 2, the gap for the lead beginning to close oh so slightly. Take a look, compare the lap times between Cody Heinzman and Greg Mitchell. Last couple of laps, Greg has been a little bit faster than Cody again, about 0.03 of a second faster than Cody Heinzman. Probably not going to be enough to get there, as we've only got about 4 laps remaining in the stage. But you can see the differences in the lap times. It's gone from about 1/4 of a second to 1/10 of a second. Last time by was 0.03, and this time we'll wait for the update. Again, another 0.03 of a second out of the 28th lead for Greg Mitchell. Possibly issues for Brad Holmes here. Something might have happened. Oh boy, what happened to Brad Holmes? That might be the best we're gonna get. Let's take a look here. Trying to make his way onto pit road. Oh, and he's just going to lock up the rear tires and come down. Don't think he hit the wall there. Take one more look at it and see if Brad hits the wall on the entry to the pits here. Does a nice job keeping it out of the wall. We stay green up here, up towards the front. Cody Heinzman, still your race leader over Greg Mitchell. And now he's gapped that back up a little bit here with 2 laps to go, coming to the white flag in the stage. He's gapped that lead up now to about 0.7 of a second. So Cody Heinzman looking to take the sweep here for stages 1 and 2. And looks like he's going to be able to do it, as everybody's going to come around one final time for lap number 70. Waiting on the 10th place car. Currently 10th place car is Chris Wold. So all these drivers got to come through. And Chris Wold's about 11 seconds back, so Mike Stiverson here needs to be careful. He should be okay not to go a lap down, because you can still gain or lose positions here as the 10th place car comes across the line and the yellow flag is out. Two stages done, 2 cautions, no contact cautions out here tonight so far. We're going to take a quick little 30-second break, and we will be back for pit stops. I knew I was going to do that. I knew I was going to forget to turn off the car audio when we went to commercial for the first time. But we caught it. Alright, getting ready for pit stops down here. Looks like lucky dog on that pit stop might be Mackenzie Milwain, but we'll wait for official timing and scoring to come through. But it looks like Mackenzie might be the first one, as you see him stay out on track up there. So yes, Mackenzie is going to be the free pass vehicle for stage number 2 caution. And we're going to watch the pit exit line here and see who comes out first. Last time we saw Ed Jurgen come out first, possibly speeding. Cody Hines is going to win the race off pit road, followed by Greg Mitchell, followed by Tanner Marr, Joe Hudson, Lee Campbell, Matt Semple, Cody Gibson, and then good luck from there on out. I'm not going to try to guess those, but they're coming off pit road 2 and 3 and 4 wide as we get set to go racing for stage number 3. Alright, let's see if we can't be quick about this. They may be coming to the 1 to go, possibly, but Cody, Tom up here, you got us?
I got you, Tom.
Hey, Cody, well, winner of stage number 1, winner of stage number 2, coming to the white flag here, or coming to the 1 to go on the stage. How are you going to manage these next 60 laps and try to take the sweep?
Hopefully I manage it a lot like I've managed the rest of the race up to this point. That's going to be the goal, and I think from here on out, I would be surprised if fuel comes into play, maybe if we get like a really weird caution at some point, but we continue to run great. I think it's all going to work out pretty well. And from what I've seen on that last run, we really didn't need to save any fuel, at least I didn't from saving under caution. I'm assuming we were kind of going all out, and I felt like as the tires wore off, I had just enough to keep Greg behind me, whether it was low line, middle line, high line. As long as I got the clean air, I think I can manage it, so we'll see.
All right, well, best of luck to you here in the longest run of the night. I'll kick you back down. Hopefully this is the right room. We'll kick you back down there. And Cody Heinsman giving us a word here in the middle of the race as we're getting ready to go green flag racing once more from Kansas Speedway. Pace car down and away. Barney's got that green flag up in the air. The lights are red, but the flag is green. We are green flag racing once again from Kansas Speedway. Cody Heinsman gets a good jump as they enter turns 1 and 2. Tanner Marr takes a look down onto the inside to possibly take second place away from Greg Mitchell. And he's going to maybe be able to do it. Yes, the 4 slides up in front of the 55 halfway down the backstretch. So position gain for Tanner Marr. Tanner Marr +1 on the restart, +5 on the night for Tanner Marr so far. We heard Cody talking about he doesn't think fuel strategy is going to come into play for the rest of the race. But you get one untimed caution, and that all throws it all the way out there. Matt Semple's got his hands full, a couple of car lanes back here. He's got his hands full. Cody Gibson, Greg Mitchell, Joe Hudson, they're all working against him right now, trying to get around that 16, now up to 3rd place. Greg slides back 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 spots here on this restart. Got some. Yeah, you can see Greg kind of all over the track right now, almost up into the wall in 1 and 2. He's going to let 2 cars by, maybe 3 here with Dustin Ping. See what Dustin's able to do. See if Dustin takes advantage of the opportunity here. So hard to pass in these trucks. When you get an opportunity like that, you got to take it because you don't know the next opportunity you're going to have. And Dustin Ping does, in fact, throw it down there. And Greg Mitchell's going to say, hey, I'll run in the grass. Let's see if I can't run down here and take that spot back. But not going to be able to hold the momentum. Dustin Ping's going to have the momentum on the exit of 2. Cody Gibson right in front of him, making a pass on the outside of Joe Hudson there in the 49 as we've got an issue in the back. Looks like Chris Wold and Logan Spencer. Yellow flag out for the 3rd time this evening. All right, let's see if we can't figure this out this time. Chris goes down onto the apron. We'll take another look at that. But Chris up in the wall. Logan Spencer in the wall. Oh, Rick Thompson. Rick Thompson just goes around here. Take another look. See it, maybe a closer look, better look of what happened to. Why does it keep jumping? There we go. That's a better look. Oh, Corey got into the outside wall in the 3. It's kind of hard to see on the replays. bounces up into the outside wall and comes down on Chris Walden, the 32 machine, but do believe that's probably going to be it for... Well, he's got some significant damage. We'll see if he continue. Oh, yeah, the left front tire's not turning. That's not a good sign, but... Oh, there it goes. He just needed even ground, that's all. Alright, back up front, back live here. Couple of cars on pit road. Joe Hudson on pit road. Cody Gibson on pit road. Ed Jurgen on pit road. So 5, 6 cars maybe on pit road. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. They said that they weren't concerned about fuel. But I would like tires if I was a driver. I'm usually driving. Hey, Jarrett. Good to see you out there tonight. How's the broadcast sounding? Too loud? Too low? Too anything? Yeah. Covering the broadcast out here tonight. Clean race so far. Only our third caution. 2 stage yellows and just had our first incident yellow with Chris Wold and Rick Thompson, Logan Spencer, and a handful of other drivers. See, this is why Cody wins races and I don't. Cody just reminded me that they only got 4 tire changes out here tonight. So you figure, right, we're just going to talk together. You figure that they took a set on stage 1, so they got 3 left. They took a set on stage 2, so they got 2 left. Now those 5, 6, 7 drivers that just came down pit road just took a set, and now they only have 1 set remaining, as whereas Cody Heinzman, Tanner Marr, Matt Semple, Dustin Ping, Greg Mitchell, pretty much everybody inside the top 11 have 2 sets. Now that's going to play in their hands if we do get another caution, maybe in about 20 laps, maybe before the next scheduled fuel cycle pit stop. But they ran... They last pitted on lap number 72, so they had about 9 laps on the tires. So, I don't know, you guys do the math. This is why I'm up here tonight. I don't want to be thinking about tires, I don't want to be thinking about anything else, but 9 laps better on the tires, or do you want them at the end if there's a caution? It's only going to come into play if there is another caution. If there's not, they leave it sitting on the table. Also, the fact that Cody can listen to me ramble for an hour and a half and lead this race is mind-boggling. But Cody Heinzman looking to take the lead here on the restart. Tanner Marr to his outside, Matt Semple, Dustin Ping, Greg Mitchell. That's your top 5 for this restart. We've seen Cody jump out to a pretty good lead on all the previous restarts. See what he's able to do on this one. Tanner's caught sleeping on this one. Matt Semple finds his way up into second place here. Good start by the 16, good start by the 55, and the 4 loses 2 spots on theirs. Top 3, top 4, maybe top 5 breakaway. Up at the start of the start-finish line, Dustin Ping, Lee Campbell, Philip Van Vliet. See if we can't find first car that I saw come on pit road. I saw Cody Gibson and Amanda Sherman come on pit road. Tough row to hoe for both of these cars right here, because they've got some fresh tires, but they don't have a whole lot of places to go with them. But you can see the difference as they exit turns 3 and 4. She's going to take a look underneath, who is that? Stephen Music. Is that the 09 in front of her? Stephen Music's to the inside. Amanda's going to try to jump up on the outside. Try to make use of these fresh tires while the good is still good on the Goodyear. Cody Gibson making hay up on the outside line here, pushing Phil Van Vliet on the outside of the 21 Mackenzie Milwain. Back up front here, keeping an eye on the drivers with new tires, but also keeping an eye on the leaders. Cody Heinzman currently leads Matt Semple by just over a tenth of a second. I mean, you could throw a blanket over these top 5 cars as they race down the backstretch here. Heinzman, Semple, Mitchell, Ping, and Marr. That's your top 5 entering turn number 3. We'll take a quick look here, possibly an issue for John Milwane. Let's see if we can't see maybe what happened to John. Says he went down into the pits. We'll take a, I don't know why it keeps doing that. Trying to make his way onto pit road. Is he going to do the same thing Brad does? Oh no, he's going to come down onto pit road and park for the evening, is John. Back live. Got battles up in the top 5. Dustin Ping says, hold the phone, I want to get up here, as he's going to push Matt Semple down the backstretch here, trying to take a look on the inside of Matt Semple, and he's going to be able to. Does he get the slide job? He does, barely. Oh my goodness, look at the run. Matt had to get out of the gas a little bit there. Play nice with the 81, but where did the 81 come from? Did he? Let's see. No, he's on the same. He did not. He did not pit with them. The first driver that pitted is Cody Gibson back in 8th place, followed by Amanda Sherman in 10th. So Dustin Ping is doing this on the same set of tires as Cody Heinzman is. And he's giving him hell up front, trying to make his way up towards the lead. Semple's got a good run. Oh, that's going to be close on the exit at 2. I think Matt paid him a second favor there, possibly, on the exit at 2. He had the run. I think he probably got out of the gas a little bit. Now he's under fire from Greg Mitchell here. Greg Mitchell now on the bottom line, not where you want to be. Underneath Matt Semple, underneath Matt Semple. See if Matt, once again, does he get the run? He does, but not able to do anything with it just yet, but you can see the speed differences. Oh, Matt in the wall, entering turn number 1. Take a look at his right front here. That was a pretty hefty hit. Oh, he's in there. Matt, there's a wall there. Matt's a good guy. Probably dipping into the pink Whitney too much, I think, is what he would tell me. Don't see a whole lot on his right front here. Maybe a little crinkle on the right front valence down there. Right side looks okay. He'll carry on, and he'll still contend. All right, so now, as I was going to say, this is about settled down. I was proven wrong. Greg Mitchell now taking a look underneath Dustin Ping for second place, trying to chase down the 81. Is he going to be able to clear him? He's got the room there. He needs to slide up if he wants to take that spot, and there goes the 55. And now see what he's able to do on the 28. See if he's able to chase him down. So, all right. I never did well in math. So these drivers were talking 30 to 35 laps. That's a pretty big window on fuel. They last pitted on 72. A couple of drivers pitted on 79, but the majority of these drivers last pitted on 72. We're probably going to be starting to get into the window. I mean, anything after lap 100 is their window. But they're currently about 22 laps on a fuel run, if I'm doing that correctly. So we're at most 8 laps away from seeing these drivers come in, at least 6 laps away from seeing the leaders come in. Then it'll be interesting to see what drivers like Cody Gibson, what Corey Sherman, what Amanda Sherman decide to do, because they've only got about 9 lap better tires. So do they pit with them? Do they stay out and hope for a caution? Not that many additional laps for the 1, the 3, the 88. So it's going to be fun to see if this runs through a green flag pit stop. Greg Mitchell closing that gap a little bit here. Take a look at the last couple of laps. Cody Heinzman's been a little bit better the last couple of laps. Or no, I'm reading that backwards. Greg Mitchell has been a little bit better the last couple of laps with the exception of lap 93 here. Take a look, wait for this to update. Cody about 100th of a tenth better that time by. Last time by 32.65 to a 32.66. Advantage 28. Starts getting that little bit of that dirty air. And that starts to slow you down a little bit here, but a little bit of breathing room now for the 28 machine of Cody Heinzman as Greg Mitchell now has fallen back to about a 3, maybe a 4 car length difference between him and the race leader. Lap car Logan Spencer making just one of his 3rd, 4th, 5th start out here. Logan always running clean, looking to make a run in next season's possible championship run. But Logan's somebody that you don't really hear a whole lot from. He runs his races and pretty much keeps it clean, so I'm excited to see what the 19 can do in future races. Got caught up in that lap number 70 incident. So unfortunate for him, but was running good before that. Now that the lead pack has kind of settled down up here a little bit, Greg Mitchell holding about a 3.5-10 difference behind Cody Heinzman. Taking a look at one of the closer battles out on track right now, Leroy Koblenz in the 61. Being chased by the 09 of Steven Music. Joe Hudson's back there in the 49. Mike Stuyvesant. Mike Stuyvesant got caught a lap down earlier tonight. Currently running in the 20th position, 1 lap down. Trying to chase down the 43 of Eric Anderson for the free pass position. In the event that we do get a quick caution here. Looks like Larry Bell had a moment on the exit of turn 4 there. Larry gets sideways and holds on to it, but now these guys, drivers 2 and 3 wide, coming through turns 1 and 2. This is all for about the 10th, 11th, 12th place position on track right now. But we're going to jump back up front, try to keep an eye on the race leaders, see when these guys think about coming down pit road. They're now within the window. If they said 30 to 35 laps, they're now within the window. But there are 3 green-white checkers out here tonight, right? So they need to also keep that in mind. This race could be extended by, if we have all 3 green-white checkers, call it probably 12 laps or so. So perhaps that's what they're thinking, but I see them coming in the next probably 4 laps at the absolute maximum. Everybody from Heinzman to Semple, Cody Gibson, Cody Gibson, Corey Sherman, Amanda Sherman probably going to stay out a couple of laps. But we'll see how it plays out here as they cross the start-finish line. They're going to stay out for an additional lap. Nobody on pit road just yet. Top 10 stays the same as they cross the start-finish line to begin lap number 103. Still waiting on the first person to make their way onto pit road. I have a feeling the first person on pit road is probably going to be somewhere back here in 3rd, 4th. Not Cody Gibson, not Corey Sherman, maybe Lee Campbell. Probably Matt Semple, Dustin Payne, Lee Campbell, Philip Van Vliet. think those drivers are probably going to be the first ones that you see hit pit road. As I thought I just saw. No, maybe not. Maybe I'm seeing things. I thought I saw somebody on the apron coming down the pit road. About to prove me wrong once again here. Yep, there comes Larry Bell. Larry Bell on pit road. Larry Bell making his way onto pit road. So the first driver to make his way on comes from the 10th place running position. Keep an eye, see if that brings everybody else down pit road. And here comes Cody Heinzman. Cody's going to make his way onto pit road from the race lead. Somebody else, who was that Dustin? Yeah, Dustin tried to make his way onto pit road, missed the pit road entrance. That's going to have huge implications. Has to get up through the gears again and get that momentum going again. Andrew Caldwell on pit road. Cody Heinzman down and away on pit road. Cody Gibson, surprising. Even with those fresher tires, Cody Gibson follows the 28 down on pit road here, following the 55. I gotta think the 55. Well, he's gonna stay out an additional lap here. Hey, Chris says toasted. Chris, hey, if you ain't doing anything else, pop on up. Following Greg Mitchell around, seeing if he comes down. It's about a second and a half to maybe a 1.7 difference, and he's coming this time by. Greg Mitchell coming on pit road. He's going to be 55 miles an hour at the yellow cone there. That's going to pass the lead over to Corey Sherman, Philip Van Vliet, and Joe Hudson going to become your top three. And oh my goodness, hold the phone. Who's out there? Is that Chris Wold?
Hi, my name is Chris, and I have wrecked.
Chris, man, it's been a long time. Got caught up in a wreck earlier out here tonight. You want to talk about your race, or you want to talk about the race?
I'll save my comments on my race until after a driver committee, because that went unclaimed. So I don't want to have I want to have a completely unbiased driver panel before I go on a rant.
Yeah, unlike Beverly Cannoni and whatever. But anyway,
I would say this race was fun getting up to there. I tell you, Tom, the fuel, the tires for me towards the end. I mean, I've been passing people sideways, and so it was fun to watch the fuel in the first half, and worked out to my luck there, and it's been a fun race.
It certainly has been a fun race. We've been watching cars race 2, 3, sometimes maybe even 4 wide. What are your thoughts now here? You still watching the race? You still got it up?
Yeah, I'm still on the server, so
okay.
Anything you're watching, you'll just have to tell me so I can go to it.
So, last time, Corey and Amanda Sherman looked to be working on the same fuel strategy here. They pitted about 7 laps after everybody else did. What do you think about the 3 and the 88? They got to be short. They got to be close on fuel because they're coming to about lap 30, 35 here.
Yeah, I've played that game before where you think, hey, I'll just run the fuel out, but I think the tire disadvantage is really what's going to get them the pace here with everyone having fresher tires underneath them. They're just losing pace at this point because those that pit, they can kind of go all out from this point and make up that gap where I think the 3 and the 88 may be going a little bit more off pace. So I don't think the overcut really works here.
Yeah, I mean, I just switched it over to last lap time on our ticker. So 33.26, 33.48 for Sherman and Sherman. Cody Heinzman just ran a 31.7. So, I mean, you're talking over 2 seconds a lap here in the next handful of laps before they decide to pit.
Yeah, so what they're going to hope is then maybe towards the end, they'll have fresher tires, then they can just go full throttle 1 and 2 and maybe a light lift in 3, 4 and not have the fall off. But I just think the gap's going to be too much. You lose too much coming down pit road and the pace they're at right now. I mean, I'm watching the 88 and just trucks flying by at this point. So the pace is starting to come at them.
Yeah, it certainly has. And I mean, the battle, so what's interesting, so Greg stayed out a couple of laps past Cody Heinzman. He stayed out 2, maybe 3 laps, lost 3.37. Well, that's his current gap. I don't know what he actually lost. But currently the gap is 3.3 seconds. So it's going to be fun to see if Greg can chase down Cody with those 3-lap better tires. But I think Greg was kind of in a position that he's been chasing the 28 all night long, and he just had to do something different and have better tires at the end. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm watching their laps right now, and it looks like he is putting in faster pace, but that could be Cody also knowing that's the plan, and so Cody could be saving some tires. But that last lap, Greg was a half second faster.
Yeah, we're looking at it on the broadcast now. 2/10 on lap 109, 3.5 on 110, 6.5 on 111. So, I mean, you're talking some pretty significant time differences between Cody Heinzman and Greg Mitchell. That time by another 3.5 tenths there.
Yeah, that's the thing to see here with Cody is he just kind of holding back a little bit and letting Greg burn the tires up trying to catch. I see some of the trucks getting out of the way for him, so that's nice there. So he's not having to burn tires up and try to pass people in dirty air. So he's kind of getting some free air and track to himself to chase down Cody here, but Cody could be saving.
Well, Ed Jurgen, one of the drivers that pitted on lap number 79, makes his way down on the pit road, so that's got to tell me that Amanda and Corey Sherman now on pit road as well. That's got to tell me that Amanda Sherman is not far behind. Amanda's going to stay out possibly here. Now, she looks like she might be coming down the pit road. She is. So
Yeah,
good strategy, but
it's a good
didn't
strategy, but I think
play
it's going to be a little too late. A late caution would really help there. But I'm already off the track, so no more caution.
So now Greg Mitchell, we were just talking less than a minute ago. Greg was 3.2 seconds back. He's now down to 2.2 seconds behind Cody Heinzman here. Continuing to take a look at the last lap time out here. 32.09 for Cody Heinzman, 31.91. So the difference between Heinzman and Mitchell now starting to come down. Still faster, but starting to come down a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see if Cody gets back into the 31s here to kind of show that he was saving, or kind of how close will he manage that gap. So that could be what he's doing here, is just gap management.
There you go. We'll see if that officially breaks my computer or not, but I just shared there a little bit. It very well could break my computer. We've already disconnected once.
How do I click? What button do I click? Wait, hold on. I found it.
Click the big red button.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get into that potato category of your computer after like 8, 9, 10, 11 years.
I had to do a hard restart coming in. I couldn't get Discord to work. Nothing was working, and I was like, oh, I got a Windows update. Let's do that with the race starting in 10 minutes.
Greg Mitchell continues to eat into that lead. He's got some traffic in front of him on Amanda Sherman. Greg Mitchell, last time by, now it's only about a 10th difference between Cody Heinzman and Greg Mitchell. You see Greg tight there on the exit of 4. Had to get out of the gas.
Getting some of that dirty air from Amanda in front of us. See, this is what I was talking about here, Tom. I think it's just a little too late. 17 to go. Amanda's obviously going to get her lap back here, but then trying to make up 30 seconds within 17 laps, 2 seconds a lap. I mean, it's close, but then the fall off, so I just don't think they'll have it to catch all the way back up.
Well,
once the Shermans get unlapped, maybe a caution, shake it up a little bit.
Well, let's play the fun game. If you get a yellow flag right now, right this very second, do they fall in that window of, hey, I've only run 4 laps, I'm going to stay out? There's only going to be 12 laps to go if we get a caution right now.
That would be me.
That time by, Greg Mitchell about 2 tenths faster, maybe about a tenth and a half. Faster than Cody Heinzman. Had some clean track in front of him. Switch back over here. See the gap as it continues to close. Now it's 1.4 seconds, so it's definitely closing. But my fear for Greg is that he's using everything he's got to get there.
Yeah, and then when he gets there, it's kind of what does Cody do? Stay low, stay high. I found it easier to pass people in the low lane, and so you start to wonder, is that what Cody will do? Is he'll shift the truck down low and take that option away from the 55. I'm also sitting in the pit, so when I say I find it easier to do something, take that with a grain of salt there, everybody in the crowd.
This time by, we're going to see 13 laps to go over the Jurgens Lawn Care 200. Make it 14 laps to go over the Jurgens Lawn Care 200 from Kansas Speedway out here tonight. Clean race so far. Only one caution for cause. That was involving, well, you. We'll leave that one untouched. But
Unclaimed.
2 stage cautions and then the 1 contact caution. Really kind of surprising after we saw all the tight racing earlier in the race. I mean, we saw people bumping uglies and getting in each other's way, and somehow they all managed to hold on to it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. There was a moment there where I felt I was driving in a hornet's nest. I think it was right after the first stage caution, and you had a mix of lap cars and on-lead lap cars, and it was. I'm surprised. Not really on the only caution, but that there is only one caution with how competitive it was earlier. But that just shows how much this league is advanced. These drivers here are learning the give and take and showing some clean racing.
Well, we got a battle here. We're watching the battle for the lead, but we've got a battle here now for 4th place. Matt Semple trying to take away 4th place from Dustin Ping. Matt's had a good run up here tonight, up 12 spots from his starting position. Dustin Ping's kind of had an up and down night. We saw him battling up there for stage 1 win, and then he kind of fell back in stage 2, and now he's kind of back up there, up inside the top 5. So, it looks like Leroy Koblenz might have just had a moment here. Let's take a look and see if we can't see what happened with Leroy. Oh, that's not what Cody and Greg want to see. Contact out of turn number 4, Larry Bell, Leroy Koblenz. Leroy does a nice job to hang on to it.
Oh, sure, that one doesn't bring out a caution.
Matt Semple and Dustin Ping still going at it hard here with 11 laps to go. Keeping an eye on the race leaders up there. Still looking.
So in the second run there, Tom, I was behind Dustin for a while, and it felt like he was trying to bring the wall down coming out of turn 2. So to see him bounce back from that is really nice to see here, because yeah, he was. That second stretch was real. Looked like it was having a difficult time there in the 81. Him and the wall were saying hello to each other quite a bit.
I tell you what, don't count out this 55 yet here. We're still watching this battle between the 16 and the 81. But Greg is now, hold on, Ed. Ed's trying to do some lawn maintenance down there. Don't count out this 55. He's now down to just over a second behind Cody Hines. See, Matt trying
about how he needs some shorts here after that.
He's trying so hard to get his nose up on the right rear of Dustin Ping. Not going to be able to get it there, but he might get the run down here on the backstretch. Oh. Hold on.
Oh, ow, ow! That might have just kind of hurt the 16 there. Seeing that in front of you, you kind of don't know what's going on.
He did that little
lift a little bit.
Yeah, he did that little left and right, and anytime you're putting movement into the wheel, it's slowing you down. But all eyes on the best battle on the track right now. Matt Semple, Dustin Ping, fighting for what's going to be 4th place out here. But Greg continuing to eat into the 28's lead, but it's kind of stabilized at about that 1.1 second gap here. We'll switch back over here real quick. Oh, maybe. Oh, Matt, make up your mind. Can we switch yet or no? No, not yet. Taking another look down onto the inside of the 81. Dustin's just going to get that run off the corner. All right, I want to see if Cody's got any sort of... No, he's got clean track in front of him. That's what I was wondering, if he was getting any help or any hindrance there in front of the 28.
Yeah, and I've been watching this battle on my other screens here, and as soon as the 55 kind of closed in, Cody's been kind of running this middle groove and then drops down to the bottom.
We're disconnected. We should be reconnected now. Gotta love the potatoes.
Potatoes are good. People are in here in these closing laps. I hear the race chatter going on. That tires.
on board with Greg Mitchell here. You could see the line difference. Cody running the low line, Greg running the fence. Switch back over here over the last lap and see what it does. 30, about even. 200ths of a second. That's not going to be enough.
Here you can see Cody is elected to go back to the bottom. The 55 is going to stay up top here with Greg.
Now Greg decides to follow in the tire tracks of the number 28 as they're going to see 3 laps to go here from Kansas Speedway.
I've been right around 7/10 of a second.
Yeah, again, another half a second, another half a tenth. He's certainly closing.
I can hear the throttle on Cody here, modulating coming out of 2 there, trying to keep it off the wall.
Greg now flirting underneath 7/10 of a second there. They're going to see 2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks up in the air. Trying to get a...
Greg went low there. He took 2/10 off.
He did. He got a good run through 1 and 2. See what he's able to do in 3 and 4.
And trying to stay to the high lane, keep that momentum going here. He's got another 10th gained. And then he's lost it coming off that exit there.
Well, he's going to carry the momentum all the way down here, though. See what they do. Now under 5/10 of a second here for Greg Mitchell, Cody Heinzman. All eyes up front here on the final lap of the Jurgens Lawn Care 200. Cody Heinzman with about a 6-car length lead over Greg Mitchell entering turns 3 and 4, Chris.
On a run here. I just don't think the 55 is going to have anything. He's going to need to hold it out here. Oh, Cody gets so close to the wall there, and Cody's going to come across the line, bring home the win in the Jurgens Lawn Care 200.
Yeah, Cody Heinzman comes across as your race winner. Greg Mitchell comes across second. Cody Gibson, Matt Semple, Dustin Ping, your top 5. What a race that was, Chris. That was a lot of fun to watch.
Fun race. Be prepared. I've got a bunch of replays saved. Should a driver committee go one direction?
Well, I tell you what, we're going to step away for just a minute or two. We're going to gather your top 3, Cody Heinzman, Greg Mitchell, and Cody Gibson. And we'll be back up. Maybe Chris will even join me for some interviews out here.
Well, that sounded like a guilt trip.
We'll be back. Alrighty. Cody. I put the 2-minute commercial on, so.
I'm not claiming any portion of that.
Yeah, it looked like, so I only caught what I caught on it, but it looked like Corey,
I got
he bounced the wall.
Where's Cody Gibson?
There might have been a door. I'm on the apron. I'm off the gas and just wash back right up into Ed.
All right. We've got another minute on the commercial. I forgot to mute my... I still...
Just your mic, though. I'll get a band. I'm going on a rant over here.
All right, we got Cody Gibson up here. Don't mind the hot mics. That's a Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network specialty. Cody Gibson coming home third out here. Driver out of Caddo Mills, Texas. Cody, up 2 spots from your starting spot out here, coming home with a podium finish. Finishing third at Kansas. Nice run out there. How was your race?
It was pretty good. I kind of screwed myself. Didn't save enough on that first stage, and I had to wind up running out. So I had to pit early in a closed pit. Got a black flag. Had to fall to the very back. It was kind of hectic trying to come back through.
Yeah, we saw that. We saw a 3-wide race, and we saw almost 4-wide racing at times out here tonight. A couple of races before the playoffs. We got Chicagoland, Michigan, Talladega. Talladega is the wild card before we go into the playoffs. You come in here, we still got to get points up, right? But we come in here, you were 23 points up to the good. What's your plans for these next 3 races? You gonna keep going for race wins? You just gonna kind of ride until the playoffs start? What's your plan over these next 3 races here?
I don't plan on changing anything. Just try to stay up front and be careful because, I don't know, last 3 weeks I've had some chaos happen, so kind of put me out of the races, DNFs, kind of cut my points down, so play it smart.
All right, Cody Gibson coming home third out here tonight. Great run for the number 1 machine. Anybody you want to thank, say hello to? Anybody you want to shout out? Now's the time, Cody. It's all yours.
Of course, you, Tom, for putting this on and stepping into the broadcast. Maybe you need to do it more often. I'll get more podiums. I don't know.
Well, we weren't muted at the end, so take that for what it's worth. I mean, maybe.
I'll give you a bag of hot Cheetos.
Well, thanks. I'll send you my address. You can ship it over. But Cody Gibson coming home third. Nice run by Cody.
Thanks.
I like Cheetos.
All right, I think Chris, you're on the guilt trip out here tonight. I think Chris has got Greg.
Greg, Chris up here in the booth. Man, that final run there, closing in, almost looked like you had it, but what was it going to take for you to take the win here tonight?
What's up, Chris? Nice to see you up here. Cody just
What happens when I wreck?
I know I volunteered to join to hop up here with Tom. I was just hoping I didn't see him because if I did, that means I wrecked too. But anyway, I don't know what it's going to take. Cody just needed to slow down a little bit, I think, because the strategy was I was either going to short pit or wait a lap or 2 until after he pitted. I just needed to get off cycle a little bit, and waiting till after he pitted wasn't bad. The tire just evened out with about 10 to go or so. Otherwise, I was, 3/10 a lap, and then 2/10 a lap, and then we were almost breaking even there. So I don't know what else I needed to do. I needed the track position because the dirty air was brutal, and it was scrubbing my tires a lot more than his. So I was kind of behind the 8 ball just from the start of stage 2, actually.
Yeah, we were watching that, looking like you guys were alternating lanes, trying to figure out which lane was going to work the best to try to chase him down, get out of some of that dirty air. But how would you think about that first stage when we were all playing the fuel game towards the end?
Yeah, I was just telling Cody about that. That was actually really fun because I could hear everybody kind of staying on the throttle or not cutting the engine or clutching or anything. So it was kind of fun to come through the field and be saving fuel at the same time, and I knew a lot of those guys were going to either have to pit or not make it on fuel. So that was actually a really fun run. Hadn't been in a position like that in a really long time, so that was fun.
Well, there we go. Well, you had an awesome chase down, made for some exciting racing here at the end. Going to ultimately come home second place, but hey, going to turn the floor over to you. Any shout outs and call outs you want to give out there?
Thanks to you guys in the booth. Sorry about your luck, Chris, and that you got up in the booth. That's never a good sign. But thanks to you guys for calling the race in the absence of Joe, and thanks to Tom as always for keeping this league running as smooth as silk every single week. So yeah, thank you guys very much.
It's always a good thing when Chris comes up in the booth. It either means that we're doing a race together or he wrecked. One of the two has happened. So Chris might disagree.
Oh my god! No, I was just I'm on the gearbox cam of Cody. He's out here doing burnouts.
Well, let's take a look here. Oh yeah, we'll hide that. But hey, Greg, good run out here tonight, and we got Cody Heinzman, the race winner, the big winner out here tonight from Kansas. Nice job, Cody. Swept all 3 stages. Looking like a playoff favorite here in the next 3 or 4 weeks once we get playoff racing.
Well, yeah, that's the goal. I mean, coming into this race in Kansas, I had some redemption to seek last season here at Kansas. There was a real good race going on and got taken out in an accident and felt like I could have won that one. And Kansas is kind of a special race for me because back when I started sim racing, it took me absolutely forever to get my first league win. And this was the track where I finally broke through. And ever since, you kind of, it's just that first win track, which I feel like for everybody, wherever it is, you just kind of do better there for some reason. It's just kind of, it clicks. So Kansas is that track for me. Always love coming here. And at the end of the day, like in the trucks especially, this track is kind of turned into just, you know, track position and an air battle. And I mean, at the end of the day, you can't spell racing without air, but like, I feel like I've gotten really good at mirror driving when I need to, kind of using the air how I need to when I need to. And I think most of all, just being able to adapt to whatever line I need to run depending on who I'm racing, right? Like I feel like with Greg in my mirror, I need to use 100% of the track because we're always just changing lanes and trying to find the advantage. And with some others, it might be different. With Dustin, I'm all the way against the wall, you know? So it's pretty cool to have a track where you can use every single, you know, lane in the corners and make it work. And I think that's probably put on a pretty good show today.
It certainly did. We saw some 2, 3, 4 wide racing all throughout the pack. But Cody, before I let you throw over your loveliest thank yous, all that, I got one bone to pick with you. All last season, you had your deck lid backwards, and we're looking at your deck lid now, and they're facing the correct way.
Well, you see, Tom, I got an earful from someone named Tom Richter drives the 34 car about how my logo was pointed for the camera, but not from the back. So I rotated it, and now it's not pointing at the camera, and you're broadcasting. So it's just fun how all these come full circle, you know?
It is, yeah. So, Cody,
Your paint loaded.
Cody, we'll open up the floor. Dominant performance out here tonight at Kansas, 134 laps down. Congratulations on the win. Anybody want to say thank you, hello, love you, anything like that out here too tonight on your victory?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to you guys for being in the booth and calling the race. This is actually the first time I've ever run a race while listening to the broadcast the whole way through. I usually chalk it up to being too much of a distraction, but it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool to listen to it the whole way through, and I was able to kind of chime in here and there. But my grandparents are always watching back up in Michigan, so shout out to them. As always, sure they enjoyed this one, and shout out to Brooklyn watching as well. And I will be looking forward to next week.
All right, we will see you at is it Chicago or Michigan next week?
Either way,
either way, we'll see the 28 out there, trying to go back to back on wins. Congratulations once again, Cody, on the race win out here tonight, Chris. But wow, what a fun little race. I know you're only here for the last 20-30 laps, but that was a fun little run to the finish line that we saw.
It was a fun run to the finish line there. I feel bad. He's probably, how many times do you think as he's listening to the broadcast and racing going, those dudes have no, I'm not saving fuel. And then also, everyone in the chat, 100% guaranteed, as soon as you said you can't spell racing with or air without racing, everybody in their mind spelled out racing going, wait, can you?
I was doing it in my head. I was like, R-A... Well, let's take a look at your rundown out here tonight. We don't have the fancy boxes, but top 10 out here from Kansas out here tonight. Cody Heinzman takes home the win. Greg Mitchell, biggest mover of the night, up 23 spots from his starting spot, finishes second. Cody Gibson is going to come home third. Matt Semple with the hard-fought battle gets around Dustin Ping for fifth at the end. Lee Campbell, Joe Hudson, Andrew Caldwell, Philip Van Vliet, and Tanner Marr, your top 10.
You go further than that now?
Okay. Mackenzie.
All right, I got to say somebody's name wrong. All right, you got Mackenzie Milwain coming in 11th, Leroy Kolbenitz in 12th, Steven Music there 13th. Larry Bell, Amanda Sherman, Ed Jurgen decided to be the one that caused me to wreck because I could have saved it, but then he had to hit me too. Two people. He's going to come in 16th. Mike Stiverson, 17th. Mr. Eric Anderson, 18th. Chris Rose, 19th. And Corey Sherman going to round out your top 20.
On the back half of the top 20, we're looking at Brian Dorsey finishing 21st over Fred Thompson 22nd. Rick Thompson finishes 23rd out here. Gary Bowman, early incidents in tonight's race, puts the number 8 machine 24th on the night. David Gainforth in his return second or third week back to Cyber Thunder Racing League competition comes home 25th. Casey Tomlinson, Logan Spencer, John Milwane, Mr. Wold.
Not last.
Not last. Brad Holmes comes home 30th. Andy Cork and Chris Letts round out our field of 32 trucks out here tonight, Chris.
Jackie Bran. I've messed that up.
Hey, everybody out here for watching the YouTube chat box out here tonight. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for watching our race. Joe will be back next week on OSRN, so make sure you check out their channel. But hey, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to ours. Give it a like, give it a thumbs up. Hot mics, I mean, I feel like hot mics deserve a thumbs up and a like. So, Chris, thank you for popping up here the last 20 laps or so. It was a lot of fun.
You're welcome. I'm going to go down and see this 20 and see if I'm sending in a protest.
Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you on the backside. I don't have an ending screen, so we're just going to click stop. Bye.